Good evening. Sorry we got cut off. Technology sometimes can fail. Hey Lerato, welcome. Welcome guys. I'm just waiting for Lutando to join again. And then we can continue the conversation and even wrap it up where we can. Yeah. Just waiting for. There we go. Fine. There we go. I'm waiting for him. He's almost there. There we go. Baba.
Is tech
Technology is not a good friend, eh?
Nah, but no technology formed us will prosper. Um, where was I?
Ish.
Um,
I'm thrown off. But maybe what I'd wanted us to do was to sort of wrap it up, ne?
mm,
And in wrapping it up, I wanted to ask you to give maybe some thoughts. I don't want to say advice, but it is advice, but I just want to sanitize it.
mm.
Your thoughts on getting into relationships and making it work. What are the principles that one can follow? And also just give your thoughts just around relationships in general and how you have made it work.
Yeah. Um, sure. Okay. I think my first thought to everyone, and not just for the men, but to everyone, is the best gift that you can give your partner, future partner, for those seeking love, and to for those that want to have your children, the best gift that you can give them is a you that has been healed, or that you've gotten to know yourself, who has worked through your own issues, right? Whether they are inherent in terms of how you were brought up, family, abuse, neglect, rejection. There's a number of these things that we loosely speak about, but they actually have a significant impact in how we become, and the kind of adults that we become, and humans that we become. The things that we get into that drives us. You can reduce it to all the things that we have gone through from birth right up until adulthood. So that'll be the first thing that I advise everyone. You know, work on yourself, get to know who you are, and go for help if you need to speak to a qualified person for counsel, for therapy, whatever it is. That's the best gift you can give anyone that you want to get into a relationship with, or that you are in a relationship with, or that future partner, etc. The second thing that I would say is always understand that you exist as a human first, and who you are, and your gifts, your talents, the uniqueness that you have, which the world needs to sort of, receive and benefit from. That person exists. Like, you don't have to buy that from anyone. You don't have to be given that by anyone. You don't have to be told that by anyone. And understand that that is what your confidence should vest in, right? And the things that we become, the things that we achieve, the things that we attain, are all external things, right? And quite frankly, that can be removed at any time, that can change at any time. So do yourself the deep thing to actually pause and just understand that, and perhaps do the switch to rest your confidence in who you are and things that make up you, rather than the things that you've achieved, the things that materially gain for yourself, etc. The other thought that I will share is spend time in mapping for yourself. I mean, something that I personally did, I made a little list where I just wrote down character traits of the kind of person that I'd like to, have as a wife. And that for me was a guiding sort of in the background, where in all the different ladies that I've met, that the ones that I've dated, that are always
The voice in the background.
it's the peanut gallery, folks. That I had this picture, and for me, it was very easy, relatively, easy to be able to know that this is not really the alignment I'm seeking. But yet, those experiences helped shape me towards getting to know myself better, getting to understand better, like, the things that are problematic about me, when it comes to relationship and working on those. So I'm always not a fan of this ex bashing thing where people would make jokes about the ex whatever. But I just think that those are experiences, just like in life when we attempt anything and you fail, and those are lessons. That's how I think about it. It's not failure, it's lessons. So those relationships are all lessons. They all help shape you towards this product that you can eventually be to someone that you decide to do long term with. So that's the one point that I want to make. And whichever template, when I spoke about the different templates, of how to do relationship, or if those that choose to do marriage, is always remember that the other person is equal to you. I think one of the best points around women and just a conversation around women equality was what Barack Obama said once, when you have a team, let's say you're on the soccer field, right? When you deprive, or when you hold back, or when you almost like reduce the ability of the women to fully come to the party and fully sort of display what they can do, their strength, and what they bring to the table. It's like having a soccer team and you decide to field 6 players instead of the 5. I mean, instead of the 7 players. And that's really what you do when, as a man, you don't allow yourself to be supportive and empower and be okay and be comfortable, with the woman being your equal. So that's something that I really want to encourage the brothers. I know it's not easy because, from doctrine and how we are raised and what we see in our communities and our families, it speaks directly opposite to that. So you must understand that you are breaking, generational trends, generational curses, and you're literally setting a new standard and a new, almost like tradition to carry forward, right? Yeah. So that's one, specifically around that, and just how we come together on addressing the whole thing on patriarchy, right? And when it comes to our cultures, right, let's not throw out the baby with the water. There's some very good things that come from our cultural lessons and principles. And let's find those things that we take and then be able to pass on to, obviously, generations to come after us. So that's what I wanted to say on that piece. And then to close it off is that, gentlemen, let's make it a norm for us when we get together, whether it's at, the hangout spot, at soccer, watching a soccer game, watching a rugby game, and the golf course, wherever we get to, let's make it a norm for us to talk. I know with my friends, we've made it a norm to talk, right? Sometimes it may be in the bigger group, it's in the smaller group, or it's a one-on-one, but talking is becoming more and more the norm. And in a world where there's more consciousness around things like mental health, etc., I think it's very needed. So let's make it a norm. The same way we make things norm, or like hanging out or whatever it is, let's just make it a norm for us to talk. And that's how we get better. So that's something that goes off on.
Yeah. When you spoke about making a list of the qualities that you want from a woman, you reminded me of this. And I think analogies work best because you tend to remember them. I was thinking of you putting the coordinates of where you want to go in a GPS, and then setting off on the journey. So along the way, you would see off ramps turn-offs and all of these other signs and places to stop. But you didn't stop because your GPS told you you had not arrived. But when you arrived, your GPS told you this is the destination because you started seeing the signs. And that's the one most important thing that most people miss. They miss the fact that when you get into a relationship, and this is the biggest mistake, people start getting to know each other, and then they ask this famous question. So, what are you looking for in a person? And then they go, I'm looking for A, B, C, and D. And guess what? The one who is being asked, they tend to put it all out there. The one who's asking thinks, wow, I want to be in this person's life, and I'm going to be what they want. Years down or even months down the line, they then start peeling off what they pretended to be, and they become the real person. And then people get shocked. And I remember that because my wife did something to me that no other lady had done. When I asked her, what kind of man do you want or are you looking for? She said to me, that's for me to know and never for you to find out. But I will know when I see those things in you. And I saw how she responded. And I saw how she responded to me, that there were things in me that fulfilled the qualities of a man she wanted. And I think that's the advice that I would want to give to anyone who's not in a relationship, going into a relationship. As a guy, don't ask that question because it deprives you of getting to know the person for who they are and getting to give them the opportunity to know who you are without pretending to be someone else. And for ladies, stop giving it out exactly like that, as in what kind of man do you want, and then you just nilly-willy give it out. It's about that. Just tell them, I'll know when I see it. I'll know when I see those qualities. I know, but probably even Songoba can attest that when she saw those qualities in you that she wanted from a husband, not from a boyfriend, but from a husband, she was comfortable in allowing herself to be your wife. I'm going to make a reference to the Bible. It says, blessed is the man who finds a wife, right? It doesn't say, blessed is the man who finds a girlfriend. So whenever we engage each other, look at, is this person a wife or a girlfriend? Because when you find a wife, you will know. And as you have put in your coordinates for your GPS, you knew she was the one and she was the wife. And she knew you were the husband and not a boyfriend. And that's why you were able to initially from the start build together. And that's the common thread that I find in marriages that have lasted. That people did not necessarily give themselves away. I just received a note. Yeah. People didn't necessarily give themselves away, and they didn't look at each other as a boyfriend and girlfriend. But the moment that they knew that this was my husband, this was my wife, they started acting like it. So they would have probably said, hey, here's my bank card. You can have access to my bank account. You can have access to my life. It's all open to you. And I think that's what people need to do in terms of just opening themselves up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you the final word. And after you've said all that you need to say, I see Songoba is posting a smile, double smile there. Maybe Songoba, you can appear on the screen just to say hi.
Hello.
Hello. We are good.
Awesome.
Right. So, what I was saying is I just want to give you the closing comments, and then from there we can close it. And then for everyone who's watching, we will share we'll share the next part if and when there will be another one. But I can tell from the feedback thus far that people have enjoyed the conversation, and I think there are a lot of things that we need to go deeper with. Particularly in emancipating the male or the man, and in helping him heal. And maybe we can look forward to helping people go through the process of healing first, because people need to heal before they get into a relationship. People need to sort out their loneliness issues before they want somebody else to fulfill their loneliness. I'll give you the closing comments, and then thereafter I'll just close the video.
Yeah. So, as Nontle says, she will know when she sees Mpako Wake.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it better not be Mpako. It better be Plate Yako. I think maybe one of the thoughts I wanted to add is Salam Alaikum to Almasi. I wanted to add that the loneliness, so there's a difference between loneliness and lonely.
Yeah.
I mean, being alone versus being and loneliness. So being alone is a state of mind that is comfort and confidence with who you are. And one of the things that a mentor once said to me is that loneliness is the product of you not being comfortable and loving who you are. Because if you love who you are, then loneliness doesn't have a place to exist, right? And I thought it was very profound. At the time, I was just like, whatever. But I think over the years, in just gaining more understanding and getting to know myself, that started to resonate and make sense. That specific quote that they had shared with me. So I always say that when you're in a space of being alone, it's the best time to tailor make yourself, and get to know yourself. And there's nothing more attractive, and I say this specifically for the ladies, there's nothing more attractive for men than a woman that's just happy and loves herself, right? Yes. I would even argue, and maybe some gents will attest, that sometimes that is what catches your eye first before actually a physical appearance, right? And so on both sides, men and women, I think if what you're experiencing is loneliness, I think do the work on like getting to know who you are and starting to love that person, because you cannot expect someone else to love you if you cannot love yourself. It is the most frustrating and most uphill sort of ways and experiences to love, when loving someone who doesn't love themselves, because it then means you as the other person making up for that deficit of that non-loving towards themselves. So a sense of love they get from the other person, and that can be very exhaustive. And so I plead with everyone, when it comes to the whole thing around loneliness, spend the time with yourself and get to know yourself and love who you are. Because when you love who you are, there's very little that deters you. There's very little that anyone can come and say to you or about you that will move you, because you love and you know who you are and you love that person. And like I said, there's no better gift you can give the person that you are in a relationship with or gonna get into a relationship with, let alone marry, than to love who you are. And so that's just the final thought I wanted to say around being alone versus loneliness. I found that in my life, the times that I was alone were the times that I really got to see more of who I am, got to understand my experiences from childhood to teenagehood, how it played out in certain ways, and it gave me an opportunity to actually deal with those, rather than be in a relationship, be a toxic person, or mess up a very good relationship because there were things that I dealt with.
Yeah.
So, and being alone also is a good space for you to shape not only your coordinates, you know, for the person that you want, but your coordinates for your purpose, your coordinates for the things that you want to achieve. And one of the things I was told by a woman, so this is for the gents, there's nothing more attractive than a man who knows what he wants and knows where he's headed. And I get that. So that time of being alone is really, you know, if you put your energy into that, I'm very clear on that. It's a very great space, you know. Sometimes you even miss that space now when you're with someone, because it's clarity of thoughts to just map things that you want to go, that you want for your life, also that you don't want for your life, that you want to achieve. And yeah, and you're able to meet someone and lay those down and not compromise yourself and compromise your goals or compromise, you know, your passions, because you haven't done the work to understand them, or this person is not willing to sort of understand and prioritize those. So I would say that those are my closing sentiments. Thank you for those that tuned in. Thank you for the questions and the comments. I really appreciate it. And thank you to you, Zibuse, for creating this conversation, this platform.
Yeah, no, I'm blown away, and thank you for your time. Thank you to Mrs. Vuba for all her labor of love and for loving you and for opening the door to her life, and just for you being you. Hey, I always say that our country has so many people who are not yet celebrated in the right way, and I believe you are one of those men. Not necessarily even to be standing for an award or anything, but just to say, hey, we salute you, we respect you, we honor you as one of our own, particularly in a time where Black men are not appreciated, Black men are not celebrated, black men are bashed at every chance, particularly at a time when husbands are giving others the wrong impression of marriage and what marital life is all about. So men like you and husbands like you are giving so many people hope and still exist, and they will exist for the longest time. And for as long as good men like you exist, we can also groom the younger ones to come up and be awesome people who continue to inspire the nation, who continue to inspire other Black men. There's a saying that I love: deep calls unto deep, and iron sharpens iron. So you have, as much as I was part of the conversation and initiated it, I have learned so much that I'm gonna save these two clips, these two videos, and I'm gonna go back to them over and over and over, because I know that there's so much more to come. So to everyone who's tuned in, the ladies, the gents, thank you, and we appreciate you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.